Hello and welcome back to CBOT Unplugged. I'm Rhonda.
I'm Bonnie.
In case we forget, we just have to remind ourselves of who
Always.
we are.
I had to think for a minute.
Yeah. So we have an awesome episode planned for today. We're going to be talking a little bit about the landscape of the business community and what we hear since we're plugged in to the business community. A little bit about what we're seeing, what we're hearing, and to fill you all in. Before we get to that, though, we need to thank our sponsor.
Do.
This episode is sponsored by Apple Blossom Flowers, who you may be familiar with. They're a lovely flower shop located in downtown Orono. They've been there since 1983 under new
Mm.
ownership over the last few years, which is amazing, with Brad and Marissa, lovely husband and wife duo that run the shop there. They do lots for our events, don't they?
Oh, a
They do
lot.
all the centerpieces and everything for our events. So they do a great job. So they have a wide variety. If you haven't visited their shop, take a look. Again, they're right downtown Bowmanville, Orono.
Yeah.
They're not far from Bowmanville. So take a drive out there, but they have flower arrangements and roses and tulips and plants and little gifts and all sorts of things. They also do same day delivery, which
Oh,
is cool. So you
that's
can
good.
order on the day and get your delivery
Mm.
on the day, all across Bowmanville, Newcastle, obviously Orono, Oshawa, Whitby, Port Hope,
Wow.
and much of Southern Ontario. So that's a really nice, convenient system that they have there. And I think it's appropriate that they're the sponsor this month because we have coming up is wedding season
Yes.
and Mother's Day.
Mm-hmm.
Hint, hint to our children
Hint,
out
hint.
there that if
Exactly.
they're looking for ideas for us moms,
That's right.
flowers are always welcome. So thank you to Apple Blossom Flowers for sponsoring this episode, and to the D'Amico family for being our series sponsor for our CBOT Unplugged podcast for 2026. So thank you so much
Yep.
to both of them for encouraging us to keep doing this podcast, which we love doing. So,
Yes.
Bonnie,
You're so good at this. Why don't you just keep
I
going?
know I feel like I should be in the radio.
You should be in the radio for sure.
All right, so let's kick things off. Bonnie, landscape of the business community, what we're hearing and seeing.
Well, I thought it was a great idea to kind of focus this episode on that because it kind of came out of the impact report that
Yes.
we released last month.
Yep.
And one of the statistics, which it still kind of blows me away a little bit, is a lot of our time is spent on sitting down with businesses, visiting businesses, and listening.
Yes.
And listening, right?
Yep.
So I
Yep.
think 40% of our time we contribute to that, if not more. So with initiatives, it's even more now with initiatives like Rhonda on the Road and things. So
Yes.
thought it'd be a great place to start and focus on that business care and share with listeners on what we're hearing, not only challenges, but what are the cool things that they're doing,
Absolutely.
helping tell the story. Sometimes what keeps them up at night or what makes them toss and turn. But there's a lot of great things that are happening and pertaining to the economy. It's been quite an unpredictable, uncertain economy in the
Yes.
past year and a half.
Yeah, sure has.
And it's impacted businesses and the questions that we get from even residents and other businesses in the community are like, so wow, how are the businesses doing? Like this
Right.
must be really hard for them.
Yes.
Yes, it is hard for them, but they're more resilient than we think. So
Yes.
and this was proof in the pudding through the pandemic as well. We see businesses, some closing, but not as many as you think.
No, exactly.
Lots opening too. So you see this type of pattern repeating itself now. So, and the story is different from small businesses
Yes.
to medium-sized businesses, excuse me, to large businesses. So, with initiatives like Rhonda on the Road, we're out a lot more, and you spend a lot of time listening to what businesses have to say, and we really encourage them to tell their story
Yes.
with us and to share their
Yes.
story and to share them with us so we can share it. So
Yeah.
what are your milestones? What are you celebrating? Are you hiring? Are you launching something? Are you celebrating an anniversary? And what are you going through? And so what we hear helps build that support, and
Yes,
it
of
helps
course.
build our programming. So I want to ask you, Rhonda, you're
Yeah.
out a lot,
Mm-hmm.
which is amazing, and it informs our programming and it helps support their goals. So,
Yes.
from a small business perspective, let
Yeah.
me know what are you hearing from them? What are you hearing from them, and what kind of support can we give,
Right.
and what are we doing about it?
Right. And just to add to your point, I think by listening to them, it allows us to better advocate for them,
Mm,
right?
right.
Whether it's with the Ontario Chamber of Commerce, or it's with all levels of government, and with the other business members in the community
Absolutely.
to share information. So what are we hearing? So I want to focus on, to start, kind of the, like you said, the small business community. So
Mm,
that includes our home-based businesses, but also those that have a brick and mortar, but that tend to be a bit smaller
mm-hmm.
in scale. So, not to start off on a kind of a being a Debbie Downer, but this is the fact of running a business. It's not all rainbows and butterflies all the time, right? So, there's things that they're challenged with. There always will be. And one thing that I have heard of now that we're into May is that the winter was tough. The winter was
Mm,
rough. It felt like it was about 27 months long, and
it
it
did.
was it was very, very long. So not having people out and about in the community, whether it's walking around the downtown core, or just wanting to even leave your
Just
house.
being out.
Yes,
Yeah.
that really hindered businesses.
Mm,
And again, not just those that have brick and mortar. I'm hearing the same thing from people that have a home-based business, is that people were just not reaching out as much over the winter.
mm,
So we're coming out of that now, which is really great. So they're on a positive swing up in terms of their optimism around their
mm-hmm.
business, but the winter was rough for them.
So
So
what,
to
let me,
acknowledging that.
so when you're saying people weren't reaching out as much, you mean potential clients and current
Yes.
clients,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Absolutely. Um, and so not as a result of that, but I think that that's something that the businesses are wanting to focus on, is collaboration, which is something, of course,
Mm,
that we really encourage and stand for here at CBOT, is seeing those opportunities and keeping your eyes open where there's opportunities. And businesses want to collaborate with other businesses, and understanding that they can't sort of function
mm,
as a silo on their own, and understanding there's more power behind being able to work together. So from what I'm hearing from the small business community and those entrepreneurs is, I want to get involved with other businesses and explore those opportunities where there's collaboration. And I think that's really powerful. The challenge that goes along with that, is that they are reaching out to other businesses, and it's falling a little short. They're not
mm.
really necessarily hearing back from those businesses that they're reaching out to. And understandably, everyone is extremely busy. Everyone is wearing multiple hats,
Yeah,
especially our
for
small
sure.
business owners.
Mm,
They don't, they're inundated with emails and social media, reach outs and direct messages, and they don't have time or the capacity to get to it all. So it's not on purpose. I'm quite certain, but it's difficult when businesses want to connect with others, and it's kind of falling on deaf ears, right? Because that can be a challenge for them. So I know something you had said when you were a on the panel for the Bonneville Hospital Foundation, Pathways
Pathways
to
to impact.
Impact,
Yeah.
a couple weeks ago. You had mentioned, the kind of coined this term of pay attention. Pay
Mm-hmm.
attention where there's opportunity, right? We have to sometimes lift our heads up, and the business community, they're recognizing that too. They have to lift their heads up and get away from what they're doing every day and see where there's
Mm-hmm.
opportunity, right?
Just pause. You have to
Absolutely.
pause. We have our
Yeah.
heads down a lot of the time, and making
Yes.
sure that we're doing what we're doing. I think
Yes.
technology is a help and a hindrance, because we're
Yes.
inundated.
Yep.
We're inundated. No wonder people aren't answering other people on emails, because you
Absolutely.
have about 11,000 more to get
Yes.
through, and to get to that collaboration email.
Yeah,
So I get it.
absolutely. So
Mhm.
but it's paying attention, right?
Definitely.
Where are there opportunities? So the
Mm-hmm.
businesses want to do that, but it can be a challenge.
Yep.
I think the other thing that they're finding it difficult right now, and not even right now,
Mm,
really, this has been a trend for a while, is trying to differentiate themselves and get word out about what they do,
mm.
right? Social media is just flooded.
Yeah.
Email inboxes are flooded. People are busy, not paying attention,
Totally.
short attention spans. So businesses being able to say, like, how do I get people to recognize that I'm here
Mm-hmm.
and to pay attention that, I have a business here, and that I have good, products or
How do you get
services?
their attention when there's,
Yes.
again, many, many, many other things in the
Yes.
world that that garner that attention
That's
from
right.
a person, right? So,
Absolutely. So that's a real challenge. It truly
yeah.
is.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't have the funds, right, to be hiring, fancy
Mm-hmm.
marketing companies to be putting
Yep.
promotional material out about their businesses. So they, again, wearing many hats, they are the marketing person. So
Right.
that's a challenge.
Yep.
On the flip side of that, what I have been noticing, and not that this was not always the case, but I just feel like it's really standing out in 2026, is the passion that is exuding from members of the small business community. So I've been having
Mm.
conversations, and I kind of just wanted to throw out a few names and businesses that I've had the opportunity to have recent conversations with. And, you talked about listening, and sometimes I'm just watching though, and
Mm.
watching their expressions, their body language, and I see the passion, and I comment to them. I'm like, wow, you're so passionate. Like, it's so, regardless of kind of how many times they've been knocked down, they're still so passionate about their business. So talking to Melanie at Vanderdoom, she's a
Mm.
mortgage broker, and Jonathan at Money Assist, Natalie down at Rome, and
Yep.
Dom from Dom's Auto, who's been in business for so long, but so passionate still, and Sonia over at Clarington Place, and TJ at Enniskillen and General Store. They're so passionate and love what they do, and love the community, and they're still so passionate regardless of the challenges that they're facing.
So are you just noticing this now, or are you,
No,
or have they always been passionate, or are they more so passionate
it
now?
feels like they're more so. It's almost like they've had so much to deal with through the pandemic, and then with the economy and tariffs and what's going on with our neighbors to the south and all the
Mm.
things, and they're like, I'm rising above that. And I'm taking this business, by the reins, and I'm running with it, and I'm excited about it, and they're seeing where there's opportunity for new products, new services, new business collaborations, and they still love their
So
business.
it's like uncertainty is fuel
Yes.
almost, and
Yes.
and they're not letting it get them down,
Right, right.
basically,
And
right? Yeah.
there can
Hmm.
be. They're not, always, up and up
Like you
and up all the
said,
time,
yeah.
but I'm seeing it still regardless of the challenges, they're still super excited and passionate about
Mm.
their business.
Hmm. Hmm.
And to build on that, we're also seeing new businesses opening continuously. So that's not new.
In the uncertainty, right?
Exactly.
It's a risk.
Yes.
It's a
Yes,
risk.
100%. So
Yep.
we've seen, the acai house. They have these amazing bowls in Newcastle open up, and Thera Aesthetics and Wellness is opening in Curtis. They're coming soon, and a new Pilates studio open in downtown Bowmanville, and Limitless Breathwork is going to be an online home based business that's opening. She's
Mm.
kind of come from a different world, and she's going to be pivoting and starting something new, and she's so excited. Talk of the Town is reopened after the
Yes.
fire and the
Yes.
devastation
Yes.
there. So we're seeing people take a risk, and they're
Yeah.
excited, and we're excited to support them.
Well, and they're confident,
Yes.
even though it's scary,
It's scary.
but
Oh
they're
yeah.
confident, just like when they
Yes.
open up through the pandemic. They're confident, right?
Yes,
Yeah. Absolutely.
absolutely.
Oh, that's
So
great
so
to hear.
there's challenges
Of course
for
there is.
sure. There always will be, and
Yep.
business owners know that better than anyone. And we're seeing that,
Mm.
and they're not afraid to be vocal about those challenges,
Yep.
because I don't think it serves them well to pretend that they're not there.
Of
But
course.
but at the same time, we're seeing still there is a confidence there. There is the passion is still alive, and regardless of the kind of the financial implications and the economy and all the things that could be getting them down, which do at times for sure, and they're honest, and I'm so grateful for those honest, authentic conversations that I get
Mm.
to have with them, because this is not about pretending that, again, that it's all kind of rainbows and sunshine. Let's be real here. But so there's mixed information and lots of different things coming out, but overall, I think it's positive.
Well, that's great to hear,
Yeah.
and I think that speaks a lot to the relationships that we've built with them over the years,
Hmm.
pertaining to strengthening that trust.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
and
Agreed.
them being vulnerable with us, and letting us know what they're going through,
Yes.
good or bad. And so we provide that space, that safe space to listen,
Yes.
and they know we listen,
Yes.
and they know we pay attention.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And so speaking, pertaining to the collaboration piece,
Yeah.
is that's what we're all about. We're built on the foundation of
Mm.
collaboration too. So when you mentioned that, say a business calls another business or emails them, they're not hearing back from them. Maybe they're recognizing something that they could partner in, and the other side of the phone, maybe they're not,
Yep.
and maybe they're not answering just because they're like, oh, I don't have time. But maybe there's not the connection there. Still nice to email back,
Right.
but leveraging, taking advantage of what we have to offer pertaining to those tools and events.
Yes.
I know we are very vigilant when it comes to paying attention and listening and recognizing potential collaborations as
Yes.
well.
Yes.
And we've seen, as you just told me, an example just before we got here, sat down, is there was an amazing collaboration that happened from an event that we held
That's right.
through conversation, and now they're working together.
Yes,
So,
which
so
is the best. But
oh,
again, you
I love
have
it.
to you have to
Love it.
be willing to take those opportunities, as we say, utilize the platform that we're giving them.
That's right.
And we understand that every business owner is busy, but we do see it pay off when they come out and they meet new people, people that they may not have otherwise had the opportunity to meet, and
Yep.
have conversations and develop relationships. And we see those partnerships and collaboration opportunities come to
100%.
fruition.
That's right.
Yeah,
And,
it's
and when
pretty
you
cool.
mentioned that there's a struggle, sometimes a challenge in elevating their profile in the community and how
Yes.
to advertise, again, leveraging your relationship with the Board of Trade,
Yeah,
you're
absolutely.
elevating your profile and in different ways at events, different advertising opportunities. So,
Yeah,
that's one way, right? So not the way,
absolutely.
but one way.
Yep. Yep.
So really interesting, and thanks for sharing
Yeah.
that. I
Yeah. Of
appreciate that. So,
course.
and looking at medium to large type
Yes.
businesses, so there are some great highlights to share, some challenges, of
Of
course.
course.
So we hear some different stories from the medium to large businesses here
Mhm.
in Clarington. Has mostly small businesses. What is the stat?
Yeah.
97% have under 20 employees, but
That's right.
so those with 20 and up, tariffs are a real thing.
They sure are.
So tariffs are a real thing, and so I kind of garner strength from the conversations that we have
Mhm.
with manufacturers in the community. We go into those conversations thinking that we're going to hear, you know what, we're in trouble.
Yeah, I know.
We're
And
we're
that
in big
has been, we
trouble.
kind of tiptoe in and go, oh no, what are we going
Like
to hear?
how are you?
I know. And they're
Right?
like, great, we got this new product, we're having relationships with these people and this. And we're like, please tell us more.
That's right,
Yeah.
and so it's really interesting. So
Yes.
maybe people out there, tariffs, the T word, that it's a nail in the coffin of
Right.
some businesses. And don't get me wrong, that
Oh, it's
that could
not
be
been
very
easy.
true for some
Yes.
businesses. It's not easy, especially small business, and Ontario manufacturing, especially, is impacted throughout Canada.
Yeah.
But in having these conversations, it's a mandatory to when especially steel fabricators and auto fabricators, they have to adjust their pricing
Yes.
to reflect what they're getting hit by the tariffs, and their
Hmm.
suppliers' costs are increasing too. So they have to unfortunately pass that on to their clients. However, their clients understand
Yes.
because they know the quality and they know the customer
Yeah.
service and the reliability and the
Yeah.
longevity of the relationships that they've had with these manufacturers.
That's right.
So they're not like, yeah, you're fleecing me, so I'm going somewhere else.
That's right.
You're going to get
Yeah.
the
There's a
same
loyalty there,
100%.
right? Yeah.
And so that's really nice to hear. So um, manufacturers, businesses have been through recessions.
Yes.
Recessions, to some extent, can be predictable, and what you can do
Hmm.
to navigate that, uh, and they diversify. But what's been happening to the economy, the shift, it's unpredictable. It's
Yes.
unpredictable, so they have to navigate unpredictability. So how do you do that? I think one of the manufacturers said it's a dangerous time,
Right.
and it can be a dangerous time because it's unpredictable. So the diversity is there, so they have diversify and recalibrating their product or services,
Hmm.
and reducing their dependence on the U.S. as well for clients and materials, products and materials. And they're extending, they're leaning into a little bit more of the domestic side, so
Yes.
domestic partners, domestic suppliers, and international suppliers. So it's really nice to hear and see when you talk about passion last time,
Yeah.
just a couple of minutes ago, you see the same thing in
You
manufacturing.
do. Very
Because
much so.
when we're talking to them, I'm going to use the example. So the response to the economic uncertainty has been, like you said, investment.
Yes.
And I'm like,
I know. We're always kind of
what?
surprised. Yeah.
So you're opening up different opportunities.
Yes.
They're on it.
Yep.
They're
Oh
on it.
gosh.
They have partners, financial partners, to help them move forward. So I have to give a shout out to Randy, from Randfar Steel. Randy Farmer. I sat down with them a few weeks ago, And he's like a kid in the candy store right now, and his wife says, stop spending money on
Yeah.
equipment, and he's like, I am going to
Too
anyway.
late.
Too late. So he purchased and I had to get him to clarify, I'm sorry, a 114-foot laser
No, I
machine.
can't wait to go and see it.
114 foot. So
Right.
it's being shipped overseas as we speak. I think it's going to take a month or so to get over here. And this opens up opportunity for him to
That's right.
diversify his markets and to open it up to new markets, which he is lining up already to work on products that accommodate that machine. So rail, for example. And he's already talking to partners across seas, right? I think it's either Norway, don't get me wrong, around there, for some balcony and railing projects
Right.
for housing development. So how exciting is that? And to him to talk about that, he's very excited. So
Yeah,
he's like,
and he's been doing this forever, and he's
oh,
still excited about new
absolutely.
opportunities that sometimes they're forced to pivot, right? I know everyone hates that word,
Yes.
but they're sort of, they don't let themselves get backed into a corner. They're
Well,
like,
they
it's
fight.
okay, I got
They
this.
fight and confident. So they're
Yes,
strong, confident, and the alternative is to not be.
right.
And that doesn't look very good for your staff and your team.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to exude that confidence and make them a part of moving forward in a
Right,
positive way. So hearing from that perspective, it's really rewarding to
right.
think about. And so he's like, you know what, can you help tell our story?
Yeah,
So once that machine
you just
comes,
did.
we'll be there. Absolutely. But we're going to
Yes,
be sharing it on social media and things. So
absolutely.
he's investing. There's other manufacturers investing. So it's really refreshing. And again, tariffs are a real thing, but there's ways of navigating it, and there are problems and challenges as well. So
Yeah.
um, it's that confidence piece again. So in talking to some businesses as well, um, we've heard the word "I'm expanding"
Yes.
as well.
Also a pleasant surprise
Pleasant
to
surprise.
hear. Yes.
Um, and that may not necessarily mean we're going to bump out a new wing of
Right.
the building.
Yep.
In some cases, that's the case, and the municipality in Clarington Economic Development Department is helping with that process. But a lot of them who we've talked to
Mm-hmm.
lately are just kind of rearranging
Yes.
their house, I
Yeah.
guess, and their building.
Efficiencies, right?
Absolutely, to
Mm-hmm.
put more racking here or to accommodate new product or additional product. So they are, or maybe they're hiring, pertaining to expanding, or
Right.
they intend to take another floor of the building, like downtown. There was that
Yeah.
business that we talked to,
Yes.
and
Going
extending or
up.
expanding their employees. So that's expansion, and
Absolutely it
and,
is.
and they're really proud of that, right?
Yes.
And they're doing it strategically
Mm-hmm.
and financially viably, right? So
Right.
it's really nice to see. So yeah, so that's what we're
Awesome.
hearing
There you go.
from the business community. But the other piece of it that we're hearing is, excuse me, and that we're seeing, this has never changed. There's longevity in leadership.
Yes.
So the
Agreed.
owners of businesses here, retail, small, big, large, whatever businesses, medium-sized businesses, there's such commitment and dedication
Mm-hmm.
to these owners, manufacturing. They've been here way longer than decades longer than I've been here.
Right. Yeah.
Um, they're passionate, they're dedicated, and their employees look up to them.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them may not have a struggle with retention because there's that loyalty there as well. But with that, it comes with you're not. You're not going to last forever, especially in your role, right? So there's this succession piece of it that's going to be a challenge. So and some are going through that right now.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are running their business and retiring at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
We know who we're
Or
talking
trying.
about.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
so so they take vacations
Right.
and they come back and run their business, but they have confidence in their team to
Yeah.
take the helm when they're gone,
Yeah.
and they leave, they go on a cruise, they're all relaxed, and they come back. And so
But they're still dialed in.
they're
They're
still
still
dialed
dialed in.
in, and they don't
They
want to
love it.
leave because
No.
they love it still, right?
Right.
So it's really interesting. But there'll come a time where we can't do what we do forever. So
Right.
so that's an issue too, pertaining to succession planning. So
Absolutely.
yeah, there you
Love
go.
that. Love that. So a little snapshot of what we're hearing
Little
and seeing.
snapshot.
I think it's great.
But listening, Rhonda,
Yes.
it leads to support.
Yes.
Right. So everything that we hear, again, informs how we support. Right. So
Agreed.
um, we have partners like Durham College Community Employment Services to help with the skills piece. We have resources to help businesses reach their goals, whatever that looks like. If you
Yes.
need somebody to talk about from BDC, BACD to talk about succession planning, we can hook you up, right?
Yes.
We can do
Yes.
that. And I'll leave you with the ask of everybody is to continue to what?
Share their story.
Mm.
And I'm always sending emails and things and going, hey, can I pop by? Or I just pop by and show up
You
and they're like,
do.
oh no, Rhonda's here. But I appreciate and encourage you to continue to have the conversations. I promise I won't take too much of your time, but we want to hear from you. We want to hear the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between, so that we can continue to advocate and support. And like you said, create programming and we are a resource.
Right.
And most of all, that we are part of your support system.
Mm-hmm.
So please remember that. We're not just doing it because it's our job. We do it because we care and we want to be able to help. So please continue to share what you have going on in your business, what your outlook is, what you have planned, because it's exciting. Again, even if it's not so great, that's a moment in time, and we can, even
It's
just
reality.
be an ear.
It's
It
reality.
is. It's a reality of being a business owner. So keep sharing your stories
Please
with
do.
us. We love to hear them, and where possible, we share your story too, and we can advocate for you as well. So that's our ask. Just a couple little housekeeping things at the end. We want to once again thank Apple Blossom Flowers for being our sponsor. Again, they are located in downtown Orono. Please visit them. They have a lovely shop there. Again, been there since 1983. All of your needs for floral and plants and gifts.
All the rain that we got in April brought what?
Yes,
Mayflowers.
Yes, there you go.
I was waiting for that.
Clever.
I had to
Isn't
say
she
that.
so clever? So clever. So thank you to them, and again, thank you to the D'Amico family for being our series sponsor. And our next episode, they won't have to listen to you and I.
Thank
we
God.
get a free pass
Yes.
next month
Good.
because Eric and Alyssa will be here holding down the fort. I know they're so excited. They love it so much. That was sarcastic. But they're going to be talking to you about tools that they use in their jobs. And they're very crafty, Eric and Alyssa. And so they use lots of really cool tools that you might not be familiar with. So you want to tune in for that episode.
And they don't have to be complicated either, right?
No. But it helps with efficiencies and just being productive in your job. So stay tuned for that.
That's why we look so good is because of them.
There you go. Lots of Photoshop. There you go. All right. That's it for CBOT Unplugged. Thanks for joining us. See you next time.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of CBOT Unplugged, brought to you by the Clarington Board of Trade. Follow us on Instagram at ClaringtonBot, on Facebook at the Clarington Board of Trade, or visit our website, cbot.ca.